Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Tom Swark. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be checking out if ProtonVPN, I think it's called Unlimited, is worth it. Tom, you don't use any sponsorships? You don't even have YouTube ads on your video? How the hell are you even alive? Well, here's an idea. What if I actually recommend you products I use every day and like that are relevant to you, instead of just recommending random things that are gonna shave your pubes or crappy little earbuds that don't work as good as AirPods? Leave my goddamn pubes alone! I'll be putting links in the description down below with discount codes. You could check out Incogni. This is one of my favorite services to use to remove your IRL information from data brokers, so it's less likely you get doxxed or someone finds out your address and phone number. Definitely a very useful product. You can also check out GomsGo. This is a cool service where you can get discounted shared access to some of the popular streaming services out there. Definitely a solid pickup, and promo codes will be available for this as well. Now, ProtonVPN Unlimited is a kind of complete solution for a lot of your privacy needs. And we're going to be looking at that today, kind of overviewing each kind of thing, giving you my impressions and scores. So if you go to the pricing page here, you can see we have Proton Unlimited. And now this is what I've noticed from a lot of VPNs is they're trying to add on more kind of features to their kind of core VPN package to make it a little bit more expensive and make a little bit more money and provide a little bit more value. So with this one, you pretty much are paying around, I do believe it's around $13 a month. It's going to be around $191 every 2 years and $120 every year. At long-term prices, it's going to be like twice as expensive as a normal VPN. And short-term, it's actually pretty decently priced short-term, I would have to say. A lot of VPNs range between $10 to $13. A couple are cheaper than that, but honestly, short term for what you get, that's a pretty good deal. Long term, it does get more expensive, so we're gonna have to kind of see if it's worth it. Maybe we'll do some math and kind of compare to how expensive it would be to get these things on their own, maybe even with different companies. So we have Proton here. You get the VPN, 10 simultaneous devices. You get the mail and calendar, although this is kind of like it's like mail with the addition of these kind of things. You get Drive and ProtonPass. Now, really the main value proposition is getting the premium offering of Protonmail, because you can get the VPN, you can get the mail for free, and I think you could get the ProtonPass as free as well. All these you can get for free, but what you're paying for is the best kind of access, the best kind of speeds when it comes to the VPN, a lot more storage when it comes to the mail and Drive, and you get ProtonPass with some of those premium features too. So if we take a look at ProtonPass, which is their newest offering, you can see it is free. You get unlimited logins, unlimited devices, and nodes to hide my email aliases. And then with the ProtonPass Plus, this is where you get 2FA. You get to organize items within multiple vaults. So this looks like almost like you can have a couple different vaults or areas of password management. And then you can autofill credit cards, which is interesting. So I guess that's kind of like what Google Chrome or something has. Honestly, if we're looking at this objectively, I don't know if the ProtonPass Plus is really that much of a benefit. So doing some research here, it seems that ProtonPass is not like securing your account with 2FA. It's more of like providing a new way to do 2FA instead of needing another application. And you could kind of see that in here, which is actually a pretty cool thing to see. I haven't really seen that before with other password managers, I don't think. It looks like some people even like just wanting to use it only for that function, which is kind of interesting because it is a pretty cool feature, and some people just want to use it and they don't even want to use the password manager. So it's definitely interesting. This guy says he wouldn't imagine what it would be like if the 2FA was linked within the password management. And that actually is a good point as well. I don't know if you want to combine these things two together. It definitely could be a way for if someone did get into your account, having access to the passwords and the 2FA might not be ideal. Maybe that's why other ones haven't used this. So that's interesting to think about. So when you start using ProtonPass, you're going to get this little thing here. And it's going to give you a nice little link to go to the Chrome Web Store. And you will, from there, download it onto your Chromium supported browser or whatever one you want. So we're going to add that right now to test it out. And this is what it's going to look like. It does want you to pin the extension, which is a nice little tutorial to see. And then you're going to click done, sign in with Proton. And now it says it's ready to use, and it seemed to sign in automatically, which is pretty cool. There's already a nice little import button here that seems to import your passwords. I don't know if I'm going to do that just yet, but I do want to show you what the application looks like. As you can see here, it has a pretty nice interface. You click on the little thing, lets you search the vault. If you click here, you could see a couple different settings. And this is, I guess, where you could create different vaults, whether that be business or something like that. You could create a login, hide my email alias, which is pretty cool. That's kind of like a nice little extra value addition. You could add a credit card here, an encrypted note, which is pretty cool. If you go up here, you could go to settings and kind of play around with some of these settings. So right now I'm trying to kind of use a password and get it to automatically save it or ask me to save it. But so far it's not working. This should have it. Maybe I need to restart the browser, so we'll go ahead and try that. So overall, I kind of played around with it a little bit more, but I couldn't really get some of the features to work. It didn't really seem to want to automatically save a password, and it didn't really seem to autofill very well. I think I've seen kind of better performance from some of the other password managers like 1Password and those kind of things, at least for the convenience factor. And it doesn't really seem to be doing anything that Bitwarden isn't really doing for me already. It just seems like some of the nice little features, little extras could be nice if some people appreciate those. I do like how you could create an encrypted note, credit card, and hide my email alias. So far, these seem to be the coolest little features I've seen in ProtonPass. But overall, the autofill and autosave features don't really seem to be working for me in my current browser, and I'm not really sure why. If you've had any issues with that, this did just come out pretty recently, so hopefully they will iron out some of those issues, or maybe I'm just using it wrong. I don't know. But generally, most other password managers feel pretty intuitive to work right away, and so far it's not really adding my passwords or anything very well. Next up, we could check out Protonmail. Now, Protonmail is probably like the core product here. It's definitely the one they've had the longest, and they made Protonmail and then ProtonVPN and then started adding on the other things there. So this one I expect to be pretty good. As you can see, here's my test account. I do like the color scheme, black and purple, which is pretty nice. One issue I've had with a lot of these encrypted email providers is there still is some missing functionality that I really need in my email applications. One of the features is a really powerful filter feature, which you can set up very quickly. So one of my favorite features about Gmail is actually their very interesting filter feature. It pretty much lets you pick an email, click like 5 other emails, and automatically make a filter like this. And then you can pretty much just delete all these different emails very quickly. And I haven't really seen this feature from any encrypted email provider. Usually what you will have to do is make the filter, enter in the information, but Gmail just lets you select like 10 emails and very quickly apply the filter based on very easily made criteria. It's just a much more intuitive way to do it, and I haven't seen any encrypted email provider do it this same way, and I really think they should because it's the best way to do it. Now you can pretty much do the same thing, I do believe, in Proton by creating a filter and kind of going like this and doing this and whatever. It just takes more effort and you can't do it as quickly. And I haven't really seen any encrypted email provider do that. Let me know down in the comments down below if there is one that can do that, or if I'm using this wrong, or if there's like an easier way to block besides just going all the way here in the settings. Let me know down in the comments down below. Overall though, Protonmail is pretty standard as it comes. All their encrypted emails are pretty similar, at least what you can do with them. They all have very competitive features. I think Skiff is the only one with like a cool document editor, so that's kind of a cool thing. Now, I'm not a huge calendar person. I don't really ever use calendars. I just kind of keep everything going in the noggin. Proton Drive is pretty standard. It looks like you can upload files, create new folders and stuff like this. So it does seem pretty self-explanatory and easy to use. Really, I mean, uploading things to a drive, you don't really need anything that complicated. It still seems to be pretty integrated with the ProtonMail kind of interface and everything like that. So with Proton Calendar, it's pretty easy. You just click up here in the right. And yeah, this seems pretty standard as well. I feel like this theme is kind of sometimes a little too intense for some of these things, and that's pretty nice. Very easy to switch themes, which is definitely appreciated. I like how they put that very easy to get to. Legacy is kind of like the old school. Now we could check out ProtonVPN, and this is the one I probably had the most experience with because I've been testing it a number of years, because this is my core subject expertise, reviewing VPNs and helping people find the best ones. Now, if we're checking out ProtonVPN specifically, we could go ahead and bring up the tier list rankings and see where it does well. Now, one of my favorite things about ProtonVPN is it has a really nice application. It has very good visuals for what's going on. It's pretty easy to use and has cool little buttons that are pretty unique, and not many other VPNs do this kind of cool design. That said, if we look at the ratings themselves, we are going to kind of look at Proton's pricing point as a product. I think for $13, adding all those other things in, that's a really good value. But outside of that, it's still going to be, I think, around $11 to $12 a month, even without those things. So if you're going to buy Proton month to month, I really would recommend getting the unlimited version, since it does give you so much more value. That said, as a core VPN itself, it is still expensive. It's on the higher end. I think it's around $100 a year. So a lot of these price points we're looking for, under $120 for 3 years and these kind of things, it's not really going to be able to meet. That said, in the application, it does pretty well. It has all the core things we're looking for: WireGuard, kill switches, split tunneling, browser extensions now. It used to not have any, but it's good to see their browser extensions now up and running. They have, they still don't have SOCKS 5 proxy support for whatever reason. It's probably the biggest thing they're still missing, because that's very, very useful for torrenting, especially for people who want to torrent with Proton. I think that's definitely something that's missing, even though it's an expensive VPN provider. In terms of the speeds, we get pretty good speeds with them. 5 out of 5, 50 plus countries supported, so no real issues there. In the privacy audit, they do extremely well, probably one of the best VPNs out there. The only thing they really have going against them is they're not proven in court yet to collect no logs. Now, there was a couple issues with Protonmail giving away some information on some climate activists or something like that, but I guess it's kind of like a different product, and if they did go to court one day and prove they weren't going to give up logs, I would give them more points, because in my opinion, that's really one of the only ways to verify if a VPN does not collect logs, if they're willing to stand up for its users publicly. And for a lot of VPNs, that just hasn't happened yet. Proton would also hugely benefit from live chat. It's one of the things I think they are missing. I'm not sure why they don't have it, since they are a bigger company, and I'm sure they can't afford to pay people to give faster customer support. Outside of that, there's really no issues. I did give them 4 out of 5 instead of 5 out of 5 for usability. I've always found the application, while it looks really good, can be a little bit confusing to get around compared to some applications. It's not a huge issue, but some applications just have a better navigation in terms of the settings. This one only has 3 tabs, and it would be beneficial to have more tabs and less settings with each tab. That's just something that I've noticed can be confusing for new people using Proton. So overall, guys, do I think ProtonVPN Unlimited is worth it? Well, like I said multiple times in this video, I do think the month-to-month price is an amazing deal. However, long term, it does get pretty expensive. $200 for 2 years, $120 every year is pretty pricey. Really kind of depends on your metric though. If you're thinking of ExpressVPN, that's $100 a year. So $20 extra a year for all these value proposition isn't really a bad deal, especially if you want some cloud storage. I think the cloud storage here, 500 gigabytes, is probably the biggest kind of, well, this is 500 total gigabyte. Okay, yes. So it is synced across all 3. So you have 500 gigabytes for mail, calendar, and drive, but mail and calendar aren't going to take much storage. So that is a pretty good value proposition for that, if you really do want cloud storage. However, is it worth it without the cloud storage? Well, I'm not so sure. I think ProtonPass has a couple interesting features, a couple nice little additions like the anonymous emails, the cool little notes, creating kind of like credit cards in there. And the 2FA feature is pretty cool, but also a little worrying, at least in terms of security, keeping your 2FA inside your password manager. I don't know about that. That said, the VPN is a pretty good VPN provider. I do believe it's my 4th rated VPN on the tier list. Let me just double check that because I'm changing the rankings all the time depending on what VPNs are doing and updating. It's actually the number 3 rated VPN here on the tier list, so that's really good. So overall, like I said, it kind of depends on what you're looking for. I think the value proposition is there if you need certain things. If you don't need Drive, I don't know if the value proposition is there too much. I think you can use Mail and Calendar without the premium version, fine for the most part, as long as you clean your emails out once in a while. The free version of Pass and Mail should be good enough. And you will probably save $100 every 2 years or $20 every year if you just get the core VPN package. I wouldn't really recommend the free VPN because you are going to be severely limited on speeds. Anyways, guys, I hope you found that an objective, unbiased take. Let me know down in the comments down below what you thought of this video, and I'll see you again very soon.